All right, before I get into the watch list for February 3rd, which is going to be a Friday, just want to say it's weird out there, right? Because the SPY, another big day, even with this move in the SPY, the Dow ended up slightly red, down 39 points. The NASDAQ up 384. You don't see that too often. And then, to make things more weird with the NASDAQ up big, Google, there's the daily, reported after hours. Right now it's trading at 104-ish. So that's, I guess, ugly earnings. Amazon is trading at 109-ish and was down close to 105. And Apple reported as well. So a lot going on. I think the market was apprehensive maybe with all these big names coming out. Starbucks, Qualcomm also. But anyway, and there's the daily on Apple, and right now it's trading about 146. They had a miss as well. So it's a little weird out there. Who knows how things are going to shake out tomorrow. I'm going to do what I always do and just start with this watch list I'm getting ready to go into, and then trade them on an intraday basis if I get an A+ setup, right? Couple highlights, although I already made a video of it separately, but just I'll go over it real quick. SI, Gunil posted the idea, and I'll show you what it looked like. It had put in a lower high right around 2050, the earlier high 2060 or 2061, and we'd already talked about how many shorts are stuck in this thing. There's a huge short position. I shouldn't say stuck in it, but how many shorts are in this thing, and the only way for a short to get out is to cover. So you had the gap up, the lower high right at the half number. So Gunil's idea over 2050. And again, the setups we teach, when they work, man, they work right away, right? And ended up going up to almost 25. That was a great post in chat, as always, before the trigger. And then Matt D, I'll give him a hat tip as well. VINO was ripping, and then after this rip came back down. He gave a second mouse through 4 right there, and it ended up going. So even after the big rip and the pullback and the second move, still found a way in. And look at that 5's buy zone turn, by the way. But anyway, still found a way in for the group right over 4 there with the high of day still above, and it ended up going to, let's see, 579. So a couple pretty neat ideas in the chat room today. I'll just do these in the order I have them written. This is what I'm watching tomorrow. CVNA, again, it had a nasty reversal today, but you could still argue from the last 2 days, it's kind of in the middle of its 2-day range. So it's definitely prone to a possible short squeeze. I think maybe it needs to come in another day or two, but I'm going to, because I'm a day trader, I'm going to put it on watch tomorrow. BZFD goes right back on bounce watch. BGXX. Let me zoom in a little bit here. Had the big pop, quiet inside day, but way off of yesterday's high. So I don't love it, but I am going to put it on watch for a 3rd day play, which I'll treat it basically as a bounce play. BYND, Beyond Meat. The 200 days up there at 22.35, and that can sometimes act as a magnet. Today's high 21.35 and closing at 20.23. But a lot of shorts in this name as well. So I'm going to keep my eyes on BYND for a possible A+ intraday setup. MGAM had the big pop, then the gap up, but today gapped down and closed above its open, and also topped out right around the whole number 4. So I'm going to keep this one on watch for potential trade. EGHT, nice breakout today. Let me pan out a little bit here. Looking for some kind of follow-through setup tomorrow. VINE, well, I already talked about this VINO, right? This is, I'm sure, I didn't even notice this while I was trading, but I'm sure this was just a sympathy to VINE because VINE started first. Anyway, I'm sorry, VINO, get them confused. VINO started first. I'm sure this is just a sympathy. But interesting in that it had big volume, held up pretty well, and topped out right around the whole number 2. So I want to keep my eyes on that one. And VINO, not to get those two confused. Closed at 540. Very, very strong today too. BBAI is just kind of coiling after this big rip. It's kind of going sideways, but curling up a little bit. Also topped out near 4 today, may come into play. And then lastly, RSLS, which is an ugly chart, but in after hours it's trading at 12.32 right now. So potential gapper tomorrow. We'll see if it's still gapping in the morning, and then gives us a morning gap play setup. That's it for me. I'll keep it short, and I'll see everybody in the chat room in the morning.